Welcome to the class of 2020. You have overcome tremendous obstacles to get to this graduation, and the story that needs to be told is about your grit and your strength of character that you've demonstrated to get to this part of your journey. But remember, it's a journey, and this is just one stop on the path. But now you have a diploma and/or a culinary certificate, and no one can take that away from you. When you tell people that you've graduated from Rancho Cielo, do you note that you get mad respect? Do you note that people have higher expectations of you? Your charge is to continue to prove that you are leaders in our community. Peaceful, but vocal leaders in our community. My hope is that here at Rancho Cielo, you found a loving family, you found affirmation, you found some new interests that maybe you didn't know you had, whether it's dance or art or backpacking in the Ventana wilderness or giving back to our community. These are the things that make you a more complete, a more interesting person. We hope that you will stay in touch with us. Please stay in touch with us. Let us know what and how you are doing. And role model for those who come after you and make us proud. We know that you will. I know that you want to thank the staff who creates this space for you to flourish. And so why don't we, all of us, thank the amazing culinary staff. First of all, yesterday was Chef EJ's birthday. I don't know if everybody knew that. And it's 21 again. And it's Mark's 10-year work anniversary with Rancho Cielo, which he thinks should be a national holiday. I do want to introduce the dignitaries that are on the stage here. We have our founder, Judge John Phillips, and a co-founder of the Drummond Culinary Academy, Chef Burka, Tino, and culinary director retired, Chef Paul Lee, and one of our key community supporters that you'll hear from later, Mary Chamberlain. Thank you, Mary. And then, of course, we have our DCA team, Mark and Chef EJ, Chef Christina. Where's Chef Christina? I just saw her. There she is. Thank you. And our front of the house staff, Laura and Wanda, who you'll hear from later. And our John Muir staff, Carla and Alexis. Transportation team led by Dottie. Woo woo! But in addition to the John Muir Charter School, there are a couple of key partners that I really need to mention. Monterey County Behavioral Health and the Probation Department, the Monterey County Hospitality Association, who comes in and leads workshops for us and sets up the white tablecloth dinners, and the American Culinary Federation, the Ventana Wilderness Alliance, the Master Gardeners, Clínica de Salud, and the Visiting Nurses Association. And we have many, many volunteers, including our board chair is in the audience, Mike Costa. And we have some other key volunteers here as well. I'd like to recognize Marisol, who is the volunteer coordinator for Rancho Cielo. Thank you, Marisol, for getting on that one. And at this point, I'd like to introduce your academic teacher, Carla. And there is a clean linen right there if you want to use it.
Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Rancho Cielo. I'm Carla Loomis, the academic instructor for the culinary students. And I want to thank you for being here to celebrate the achievements of these amazing young people. I also want to warn you, I always cry during this, so forgive me. At any other point in time, I would be able to reflect on both the times in the classroom and the field trips, work experiences, and general fooling around that happened during the school year. I'd be able to talk about how Chef EJ fell asleep in a kayak, or how someone used salt instead of sugar in the creme brulee, or how somebody, probably Ernesto, got lost in the Pinnacles hike. But that speech couldn't be written for this graduation, because even though we had almost 6 months together, it's as if all that time was wiped out by the last 3. The classroom world was erased. The worlds of school and home merged into one, and our relationships became dictated by technology. Sometimes we texted, and I found myself responding to questions like, who dis? What you want? And I had to explain, this is Carla, your teacher, and we need to talk about school. Sometimes we talked on the phone, where I would have to text you first to tell you to answer the phone when I called. After the first week of quarantine, I learned that very few of you wake up before 2 p.m., so calling any time before that was a lost cause. Sometimes we met on Zoom, which was the most interesting of all, because I learned a lot about you that way. I met all of your pets, saw a lot of unmade beds, and heard a lot of screaming brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews. And if you used your phone instead of your computer for Zoom, I was sometimes lucky enough to get a good look up inside your nostrils because you had your phone underneath where I could see right up in there. And of course, you got to see me without makeup, unshowered, sequestered in my guest room, happy to speak with anyone outside of my family. I probably kept some of you on Zoom longer than you needed to or wanted to because I was a little desperate to talk to outside people. So this is not the speech I wanted to write, because right now we are not living in a world that I want for you. Even before this pandemic began, every one of you had your own struggle and fought and endured to get to this point in your life. I want for you a world that embraces you, accepts you for who you are, and honors those battle scars. Instead, you're heading out into a world that previous generations have undeniably screwed up with infection, racism, corrupt leaders, and economic turmoil. And yet, I look at all of you and I think of all you've been through and all you've accomplished, despite your setbacks, despite your trauma, and I know that everything is going to be all right. How do I know this? I know this because my girls, Kaylee, Anna, and Sierra, are graduating all ahead of schedule, all before their 18th birthdays. These strong young women will be leaders who will fight for equality and help bring about real change in this world for women and the underserved. I know this because anyone with Mel's single-minded focus will achieve anything he puts his mind to, including possibly matter manipulation or transmutation. I know that things will be okay because a person with Gabriel's kind spirit can affect other people's outlook and create positive change. I know everything's going to be okay because a young man with Cody's work ethic will not only create a job for himself, but also for others. And I know this because someone with John's intelligence and logic can figure out a way out of this mess and bring us back to a safe and healthy world. I look at all of you and I have faith that everything is going to be all right. It may seem like changing the world is a tall order, but you've taken on bigger challenges in your short lives, and trust me, you're better equipped than others who haven't had to work as hard. In the last few months, you've had to complete credits through distance learning, hang out with your families nonstop for 24 hours a day, and try to look good on Instagram while wearing a mask. Race relations, deficits, and a pandemic have got nothing on you. So please, after you're done celebrating this amazing accomplishment, please save the rest of us. We couldn't be more proud to call you graduates of Rancho Cielo. Congratulations. And now I would like to introduce our student speaker, John Waddell.
That's a clean one, right there on top.
All right. All right, does that work? Yeah. Hi, my name is John Waddell, and I started at Rancho Sale in January of 2019. I was far behind in school and had almost no hope of graduating on time. Thanks to this amazing program, I'm able to graduate with both my high school diploma and an advanced culinary certificate. This is truly an amazing place. The staff and the students make you feel like you're part of their family and that you're genuinely there to help you succeed. The support I and many others have had at our time at Rancho Cielo is just incredible. Anytime one of us was anytime one of us was down or lost motivation to continue, someone would reach out their hand and lead us back to the correct path. Rancho Cielo has given me many opportunities that other places just can't offer. I was able to work at the sardine factory for my first job. I was able to go to the Panetta Institute dinner in Pebble Beach and work the AT&T Pro-Am at the Monterey Peninsula Country Club. This is a program that you get what you put into it. If you're here just to get your diploma and scrape by, you will. But if you're here to come and get everything you can out of the program, you will and then some. The amazing thing about the program is the culinary training. Not only does it break up the constant monotony that schoolwork can bring, it gives you a place to experiment and learn things that most places just can't offer. The Friday night service brings just an ever-changing experience to the kitchen. You can no longer rely on solely what you can do, but have to learn to communicate to others in a stressful environment to give the best possible experience to the customer. I've always really enjoyed cooking at home, but never really thought about cooking as a job. Rancho Cielo has opened my eyes to the world of cooking and showed me the path I want to take for my life. I plan on continuing my culinary education and becoming a chef. I would like to give a massive thank you to Chef EJ, Chef Christina, Carla, Mark, Laura, and Wanda, and everyone else at Rancho Cielo, because they have done what I thought was impossible. Helped me enjoy and want to go to school. Before Rancho Cielo, I hated school, never would want to go, just never liked it. But thanks to them and this program, I love coming to school, and I missed it during the quarantine. Thank you all for coming out to support us, especially during our current situation right now. And thank you for Rancho Cielo for developing a program that supports and encourages students like us to achieve our goals. Thank you.
I now have the privilege of introducing Chef Burka Tino, who is a co-founder of the Drummond Culinary Academy, has traveled the globe, and has spoken about all of you and our wonderful program in many countries all over the world. And he has a few words that he'd like to say to you as well. You remember that he is the owner and the founder of the sardine factory, right? Okay. Chef Burt.
And there's a clean hanky if you want one.
Don't forget the hanky.
Don't forget the hanky.
It's a little warm out here today, isn't it? Warm in the sense of the success that's here today. That is warm. So the weather cannot bother us in that respect. And John, I'd like to congratulate you. You worked for us at the sardine factory for a while, and I hope that inspired you. And now you want to continue, which is really wonderful. So I congratulate you for that. Give him a round of applause for him. So anyway, I just like to say that certainly it's really a good afternoon or a good evening for you ladies and gentlemen, graduates and honored guests. And certainly Judge Phillips, who I had dinner with last night with, by the way, is just a phenomenal individual who had this sight of doing something unique in forming this concept of this school. When he came to me and told me about it, I thought he was the man from La Mancha. I said, "You got the impossible dream." And he said, "No, it's not impossible." I says, "But Judge, you got to get the property first to build a school. You know, the cost would be amazing." He says, "I already got the property." I says, "Oh, then we can do something." And we did. And I'm very proud of Rancho Cielo. I'm very proud of what's been accomplished through the years here, 10 years. Graduating classes is fantastic. And we're a small school, but we are a great school for great reasons that this was established and has become on the peninsula, in the hospitality industry, as the great support to maintain the school. We do a fundraiser every year. We raise quite a bit, a few bucks on that, and we're able to support the school each year on that. It's been very successful. Some of you people naturally had the experience of working the fundraiser we did in February. You know, addressing this class here has always been an excitement for me, because I know where a lot of you have come from. And I look at myself that went into this at 13 years old and washed dishes by hand for 3 meals a day. I didn't know they didn't have a dishwasher. That was an experience in itself. But it was very inspiring for me, even though my family were not in the restaurant business, but I felt they were, because in our house, we had a basement that sat 30 people and was filled every day. My mother was a great cook, and she inspired me as well. So before I talk to the students, I just want to pass on a few congratulations. I feel it was so important to have a talented chef here to mentor the students and to bring them to their goals. So I just like to recognize EJ. Please stand. He's been a great asset and a great chef, and I'm proud of you, EJ, and I thank you. And then, of course, Mark, where are you at, Mark? Mark Bruiser. I mean, Mark is a tremendous individual. He's been here since the beginning, 10 years.
You guys haven't fired me yet.
Nah, we can't fire you. Oh, she can, but I won't let it happen. And then, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe you know this or don't know this, but why is it called the Drummond Culinary program here? It's named after Ralph Drummond, who was a judge, like Judge Phillips. And when he passed away, his wife gave a lot of support to the school financially, and that's why the program is named after the judge. He was also a partner of mine in some investments that I have. And I know him since the time I was 13 years old, coming to a restaurant, he and his wife, and I got to know him a lot through the years. He was a wonderful, wonderful man, and his wife was just an unbelievable lady. I want to speak about the job market, because I think that's important to you. Do any of you know how many people are in the hospitality business in the United States? Take a guess. 11 million. Was 8 million 3 years ago. Now, of course, we have this problem right now, and that's a deterrent, but that's going to change. I really believe it's going to change, and we'll get back in the saddle again, as they say, and get moving again. Fortunately, we're able to open our restaurants now, we're able to open the hotels now. We just hope that this virus doesn't become a little more dominant and also become a major issue for us. We're very lucky in this county that it hasn't been as drastic as it's been in other places. So the need is still high. You know that we have a tremendous shortage in chefs. You know, even though we got culinary schools, we got culinary school here, you know, a lot of people go into it, but sometimes they don't realize what they have to do to be a success in it. And some get discouraged and end up doing something else. And yet there's a lot of individuals gone to culinary school, but also have worked in the front of the house. Could be a host, busboy, waiter, or whatever. And as long as you're in the hospitality business, that's great, and we need you. We need you to be in it, especially here on the Monterey Peninsula. You know, the biggest industry other than agriculture, is the hospitality industry. We got over thousands of restaurants, we got hotels, and a lot of people love to come to our area. And we got to make sure we got the best to take care of them. And the success of that is the fact that our culinary in the restaurants is pretty high. We really have some great restaurants that have been very successful with very talented individuals such as yourself. And if you have that God-given talent, you got to use it. You know, when you go to a restaurant, you're working in the kitchen, for example, you got to make sure that you give and dedicate yourself and show your talent. And don't be afraid to express yourself to a chef. The minute you express yourself to a chef and you're interested, you may be a little creative, you want to do something a little different to something you've been studying, expose that. Bring it to the plate, as we call it. Let the chef see your experience and your talent openly, and that could help you further your education. And speaking of education, that never stops, okay? You graduate from here, you still have to continue your education. Our industry, so many variables in the industry today, so many different factors, so many different creativity. So you have an opportunity to be able to meet that and be able to succeed in it. And that's what we look for. I get excited when I get young people in the kitchen and all of a sudden I see them working and trying to certainly inspire themselves to succeed. It's just a great feeling to see that happen. And we do have young people that are like that, which continues to evolve and makes that a success. Now, passion, to me, is the word. You gotta have passion, you gotta have talent, and you gotta have dedication. In some cases, you gotta sacrifice. A lot of people think that everything about a chef is on TV. I've been on TV, I had my own show for a couple of years. I've been on the Food Channel, I've been on all kinds of things. But I mean, the point was, that's not what it's really all about. Try to cook the same thing twice. See if you cook for 30 people, and you cook a meal for them, all the courses and so forth, and then do it again. Believe me, some people can maybe do it once, but can't do it twice. So you have to always keep to try to expand your knowledge. I can say that common sense really wins. Things that are logical. Sometimes we try to put too much into something, but it's really less than you have to. So just use good common sense. And like I said, don't forget to ask questions. Don't forget to, you know, a person who ends up being a chef has got to have some background. He's been through some education. If he's a certified chef like Paul and myself, we strive for that in order to accomplish our goals in our profession. And you should think that way. So certification is becoming more important. The American Culinary Federation has a certification program that Paul and I went through. I also went to the World Master Chefs and did that. I didn't do it just for myself. I wanted to do it in order to reflect back to my staff and to the restaurant. because that's where my success either lies or fails. Now, I'd just like to express my congratulations also to Susie Brusha. She's a dedicated individual of this place you cannot believe. And Susie and her staff and all the ones involved that have taught you and been part of you, Christina, in the kitchen and so forth. I mean, they are the important key that brought you to the success you have today. So, in closing, I'd just like to say something that my parents taught me. My father was from the old country in Sicily, and my mother's family was also from the same town. And my family were all commercial fishermen going back to 1600. But this is what my father used to tell me in Sicilian. He said to me, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that is true. I do what I love and I don't feel I'm working when I'm in my restaurant. I love meeting people. I love being in the kitchen, probably more in the kitchen than anything else. But that became my passion, and that's where I am today. So you have just begun, but half go far in making your life what you want to be. So keep going. Always remember, what you do now and the future, the good or the bad, will forever reflect back on Rancho Cielo. What will your legacy really be? So I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I want to congratulate you in accomplishing what you have done. And now we continue to move forward to create other accomplishments for your life. God bless you and thank you.
I now have the privilege, representing the Les Dames d'Escoffier and the American Institute of Wine and Food, Mary Chamberlain works tirelessly to raise money for scholarships, some of which will go to our students tonight. Mary, thank you so much for your dedication. Would you like to come give your presentation? Wonderful.
Would you like a napkin? Here's a clean one right here. Great, okay.
That made a little sound. As Susie said, that I am here today on behalf of the American Institute of Wine and Food, Monterey chapter, founded by Julia Childs and Robert Mondavi, and also the Les Dames d'Escoffier International Monterey Bay chapter. I am the founder here, but Escoffier himself was the person that we followed. Auguste Escoffier, the greatest chef of all times, and now even in the present and still in the future. And of course, his future is the future of the Auguste Escoffier Culinary Schools in the United States, which I happen to be on the board. So it's a very, very special time. This is to the 2020 graduates, students of the Drummond Culinary Academy when I say this. You are here today due to magnificent people with their dreams that founded Rancho Cielo. I wish you the same dreams to create a magnificent culinary future for yourself and for the future culinary world. And with that, I would like to ask two of the students to come forward for their scholarships. Kaylee Edgar and John Waddell. Kaylee, this is your scholarship for $2,000.
Thank you.
Now, I should mention that is on behalf of Les Dames d'Escoffier. And John Waddell, the American Institute of Wine and Food Monterey Bay chapter is giving you a scholarship for $2,000. And I would like to say that to all of the culinary students, how fortunate you are to have had such wonderful people assisting you and teaching you in your beginning of your career. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to introduce part of the founding advisory council member, former Drummond Culinary Academy director and head chef, executive chef, and former ACF Chef of the Year, Chef Paul Lee. There's a clean one if you want.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Susie. You know, I had a speech, but Bert took the wind out of my sails and he said it already. So I'm going to punt. First of all, I want to say congratulations to all of you graduates. You've accomplished a lot here at Rancho Cielo. It's unfortunate that the state of affairs with coronavirus has taken away many opportunities that you could have experienced this year at Rancho Cielo. So I'm going to beat the drum about education. Education, and I know when I was your age, the last thing I wanted to hear was somebody give a speech about, as soon as you graduate, go back to school again. What? Why would you want to do that? I need some time off. I need to decompress. Education is very important. You look at chefs like Chef EJ, Christina, Bert, Chef Andre Adam, myself. Education didn't stop when we graduated from whatever program we came out of, whether it's an apprenticeship program or CIA. Education never stops for a chef, ever. Do you have to go to school to get an education? No. You can just get a great job, but how do you do that job? Do you just go in and work away every day, practice your skill, hopefully someone recognizes you? Or do you ask questions, like Bert said? Talk to your chef. Chef, I want to learn how to butcher. Chef, I want to learn how to do pastry. Chef, I want to learn how to bake breads. Chef, I want to learn how to make that beurre blanc sauce that you make all the time. Practice your craft. Practice it well. Get quick at it so that you have extra time to do all the other things that are available for you in the kitchen. That's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to get ahead. Would you say that John Waddell is a leader in your kitchen? I'm asking you a question. Would you say that he's a leader in your kitchen? Yes? So when you get that job, think, what would John Waddell do if he were in the kitchen right now? What would he do? I know what he'd do. He'd be bugging the chef. Chef, teach me this, teach me that. You bet he would. Whether it's John Waddell or any other student who is a mentor for you, or a chef that's a mentor for you, think about what they would do if they were in your shoes in that kitchen. So, education, very important to continue in your career. John, I'd like you to come up, and I'd like to present you with a scholarship. This scholarship is from the American Culinary Federation, Monterey Bay chapter. We are all about education. We are all about certification. Certification for cooks and chefs at various levels. And it never stops. ACF will be there for you wherever you are in the United States. There's a chapter in every state in the country. And the chapter is filled with chefs who can be your mentors, who can help you with your education, help you with your craft, help you become certified chef, which I have hopes for you. I know you will become certified with the ACF.
Thank you.
So this is a scholarship for $1,500. And you're in touch with the Community Foundation? This is through the Community Foundation for Monterey County. And our ACF chapter has a fundraiser every year. This year we weren't able to have it because of this unfortunate state of affairs. But at this fundraiser, we raise funds for scholarships. And we hope to continue to add to those funds and support Rancho Cielo students year after year after year. So, congratulations. Give me an elbow. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef Paul.
I'd now like to introduce a program director for the Drummond Culinary Academy and perpetual, although self-proclaimed, Employee of the Month, Mark Bruiser.
As I was getting ready for today's program, I thought to myself, how would John Waddell do it? Oh, good times. John, I'm going to hit you up for some money a little bit later, by the way. I'm excited to be here. Believe it or not, Susie never lets me speak at events. I don't know why. In all these years, she never lets me speak at fundraisers or anything like that. In fact, the only reason I'm here today is because I wrote myself into the program, so she can't do much about it. We have some phenomenal dignitaries, and I've developed a relationship with all of them. Over the years, I've just come to love Bert, Chef Bert, man. We get to take students out to his restaurant, and it's like kids in a candy store. They're just like, whoa, this is crazy, And we go down and we tour the wine cellar and the whole kitchen. He always gives us just this amazing tour and talks about the history of the sardine factory. In fact, last time we were here, Chef wasn't able to make it because he wasn't feeling too good that day. And students literally asked for him to autograph their menus, which, so then I told him it was going to cost some money, so I kicked him back, But thank you, Bert, for doing that. I've been to Bert's office, and some of you guys have been in my office, hopefully not too many times. But Bert and I have similar offices. If you go into my office, it's covered from wall to wall with random pictures, and there's stacks of papers and files all over the place. At Bert's office, it's kind of the same way, except that it's wall-to-wall awards. And he's literally got stacks and stacks of awards. I mean, tell me I'm not lying, Bert, right? That's true. Bert has more medals than Michael Phelps. I'm not even exaggerating. Pretty soon we're going to see him on a Wheaties box. I'm certain of it. Susie mentioned this earlier, Mary Chamberlain, and I mean this 100%. Mary has coordinated more money for students at Rancho Cielo than any other person on the planet. That's true. Last year, Mary hosted a couple students and I to come to her home. And believe it or not, Mary's kitchen is probably nicer than Martha Stewart's. It is pretty impressive, right? I mean, see, I don't lie. Don't believe anything Susie says. We have Chef Paul Lee. He was my predecessor. And in my opinion, Chef Paul was the greatest program director that we've ever had behind me. I love Chef Paul. In fact, when he came on, it was as our director, was the first year that we received the #1 spot on TripAdvisor. He put Rancho Cielo on the map. In education, the #1, what do you think the #1 distraction is in the classroom? Any guesses? Cell phones, that's right. And teachers fantasize about being able to snatch that phone out of a student's hand and tossing it in the trash can. Chef Paul has done it. I've witnessed it. It was the greatest moment of my life. It's true. Paul, is that true or not? That's true. See? In our amazing CEO, Susie Brusa, under Susie's guidance and leadership, Rancho Cielo has received numerous awards over the years, including Small Business of the Year, Best Nonprofit of the Year, just truckloads and truckloads of awards. And in addition to that, we've, since the Culinary Academy has started, she's gotten all the programs at the Ted Taylor Center, the Ag program. We have our Construction Academy, Transitional Housing, and we have just gained so much momentum under Susie, and it's amazing. And Susie doesn't like to brag. I like to brag for her. Before she was at Rancho Cielo, believe it or not, she was a competitive ballroom dancer. And years ago, it's true, years ago, TBS tried to spin off Dancing with the Stars. They spin off a show called Dancing with the CEOs. And Susie took, her and her dance partner Stan, they took 3rd place, I think, in the 2nd season. She, maybe a little later, can get her to dance. It's pretty impressive. She did dabble in breakdancing too for a little while, but really specializes in. Oh boy. Our founder, Judge Phillips. What can I say about the judge that hasn't already been said? Through his vision and his hard work and the hard work of many others, Rancho Cielo has changed the lives of hundreds and hundreds of people. The judge has many titles. I've always known him as a judge. Many of you know him as Supervisor Phillips. But I have a 13-year-old daughter who knows the judge as the guy who looks like the lead character in the Pixar movie Up, with the balloons. She saw that, she's like, Dad, that looks like your boss. They have similar personalities, which is really interesting too. It's all right, there's a clause in the handbook that says that you can't get fired if you have a banner with your face on, so that's okay. It's been a pretty exciting year, if you ask. I mean, what can I say? Prince Harry and Meghan gave up their royal status. It's pretty crazy. We were introduced to the Tiger King on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Burger King invented a meatless burger that tastes like meat. It's actually pretty good. And then what's the craziest of everything is that the last Avengers movie, Thor got fat. So I think that pretty much sums up last year, so good, we'll get past that. I had the opportunity to give out a couple of bucks, and one of the components of our program is, so we have our academic component, we have our culinary training, and then we also have an externship component. And so over the year, we do several events, and I track hours. And this year we didn't do as many events as we've done in the past, but we still hit about 40 events over the school year, and in a combination of 2,760 hours of student events. Now, each year I get to give out an award for the student who hits the most hours. Now, believe it or not, up until last Friday, it was a 5-way tie. Yeah, it sucks for 4 of you. But one person pulled ahead at the last minute and got up to 139 hours. And so right here, I have a check for $8,000. It's $250, but we were actually going to print it on one of those giant checks, but it would cost more to print it than the check's worth. But that's okay. But I want to bring up Kenny Guzman. Come on down, Kenny. Here, Kenny, give me a hug. No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations, bud.
All right, Kenny.
All right. Good job, buddy. Good job. Thank you. All right. I have some other awards, and I'm just going to have you guys stand up as I call your name. So we have the Silver Achievement Scholarship Award. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up because the rest of the awards are for financial assistance towards college, so I'm not giving out checks for the rest. But you still get some money towards to helping you with continuing your education. The Silver Achievement Award is students that have worked hard in the classroom and the kitchen. They possess strong self-motivation, ambition, and work hard to achieve their goals. They have shown passion for learning and have maintained a positive attitude throughout the school year. This $500 scholarship will assist with educational expenses. I'd like to have Carla Garcia stand up, Sierra Rodriguez, and Gabriel Romay. Go ahead and stand up, guys. Give these guys a big round of applause. Good job. The Gold Achievement Scholarship Award. These students are part of the same team, the same core group of students that are committed to professionalism in our program. These students have demonstrated a desire to work hard in the kitchen and consistently exceed expectations. They have shown dedication, determination, and passion for the culinary arts. I'd like to have the following students stand. John Waddell. Stand up, John. What a surprise. Kayla Baker. Kaylee Edgar. And Cody Couch. Good job, guys. Give these guys $750 to help with college. Good job. Proud of you guys. We have one more. The Platinum Achievement Scholarship Award. This student has exhibited superior culinary knowledge and dedication. They have proven to be extremely reliable, high-performing, and a true leader in the kitchen. This is an honorable and prestigious culinary award from the Drummond Culinary Academy, and I'd like to recognize Kenny Guzman for $1,000. Good job, guys. We're super proud of you guys. I'm going to bring up our front of the house team. These ladies are amazing at what they do. Our front of house managers and instructors, Lauren Nicola and Wanda Straw.
Let's hear it for the comedy stylings of Mark Bruiser.
Okay. So Wanda and I prepared a small speech for you guys. It's on my phone. We've sanitized it. We're going to be sharing it. We are both so incredibly proud of all of you. We know some nights in the dining room were easier than others. Maybe you had 3 tables arrive all at the same time. Maybe some iced tea got spilled, or maybe a customer enjoyed some Pinot Grigio instead of Pinot Noir.
We've been through some easy dinner services and some hard dinner services, but the bottom line is that you got through all of it. You may have felt buried at the time, but you stepped outside your comfort zone, you faced the fire, and you got through it with a smile and with dignity.
I read about this concept recently, and I liked it so much that I wanted to share it with you. Amid all of the COVID-19 restrictions and uncertainty, you may have sometimes felt buried or overwhelmed. But try to think about a farmer planting a seed. Did the farmer bury the seed? Well, yes, he buried it, but he also planted it. Instead of feeling buried by this stressful, uncertain situation, I hope you can see that these times of uncertainty can actually provide an opportunity for you to be planted. Planted in a way that will allow you to grow and prosper into what you are meant to be. As you stop and take in the circumstances around you, as you graduate today, will you allow yourself to be buried or planted?
All we can say is that it takes an extraordinary class to succeed in these extraordinary times, and that is you. This is your class. Congratulations class of 2020, for your incredible ability to succeed in these very difficult and challenging times. Thank you for all of your hard work, your dedication, and your determination to do what was needed to achieve your goals. Please know you will always have our support, and we believe in you and your future. Every day, prove yourself and strive to be the best version of yourself. You can and will make a difference. You already have, with yourself, with each other, and all of us who accompanied you on this journey this year.
It's our greatest hope that you continue to work hard and continue to follow your dreams no matter how many obstacles get in your way. We believe in you and we know you can do it. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So we are going to read the names of the students that are receiving the front of the house certificate. When we read your name, please stand.
Is this it?
Oh, I'm just going to read it.
Okay. I'm going to hand you off. Okay.
Nana Crosby.
Cody Couch.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Kaylee Edgar.
On this side of it. Carla Garcia.
Kenny Guzman.
Albert Hoquin.
Anastasia Rosine.
And last, John Waddell, of course.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ladies. Now, I would like to invite Chef EJ and Carla to come up and introduce the rest of the certifications.
All right. Well, much like Chef Paul, I kind of feel like it's hard to follow what's been said by everybody, and it's absolutely true. And it's really great for me to hear this because I tell the students all year to continue education, work hard, be good team members, and you do that forever. You dedicate yourself, and someday, you know, you'll be up there just like Chef Bert and Chef Paul. I aspire to be like them, and I think right now it's good to know that you can do it. You know, we went through some crazy times, and you achieved this amongst lots of different circumstances. So I want you to know that I'm really proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself.
So we will be calling up the graduates and the students who've earned certificates. It's not going to be divided. They'll all come up at once. And are we having a... Okay. So when we call your name, you're going to come up and your certificate or diploma will be sitting here. So you'll come up and just pick it up and then just like we practiced.
Okay, first up, with the Advanced Culinary Certificate, Caleb Baker.
Oh, you can use that.
Yeah, so I think we just pick one, and then they take it.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Here, next one, Cody.
Cody Couch.
High school diploma.
High school diploma and culinary certificate.
Caleb, this way. You know, around, you're gonna stand on that X-ray and yeah. And with the regular culinary certificate and the front of the house certificate, Alicia Nana Crosby. So this one is this right here, yeah. Julie's not here. Kaylee, here next.
a culinary certificate, a front of the house certificate, and a high school diploma 1 year before schedule, Kaylee Edgar.
And with the advanced certificate, Carla Garcia. Also with the advanced certificate this year, Kenny Guzman. Oh, sorry, and the front of the house certificate. With the regular culinary certificate and the front of the house, Albert Holken.
With the high school diploma, also a year ahead of schedule, Sierra Linda Rodriguez. Congratulations. With the high school diploma, Gabriel Romig. With a front of the house certificate and a high school diploma 6 months ahead of time, Anna Rosen. With the high school diploma, Mel Villanueva. With an advanced culinary certificate, a front of the house certificate, and a high school diploma, John Waddell.
All right. Okay, please join me in congratulating the Drummond Culinary Academy class of 2020.
And on behalf of John Muir Charter School and Rancho Cielo, I present to you the class of 2020. Graduates, if you will take your tassel and move it from right to left. Congratulations.